Hey, what's going on, guys? Mr. Flores here. So the lesson I'm going to be going over with you guys is converting expressions into words. Okay. Now, what you guys need to think about is what is an expression? Because what we're going to be doing is taking numbers, turning them into English. Because the ultimate goal is so you guys can take some English and turn it into numbers. Now, that helps you so much when we do word problems. Your guys' favorite thing in the world, and I promise you we're going to do a lot of them. So we need to get good with going from numbers in expressions to words in English, okay? Because once we can do that, the converse, going backwards, is going to be very easy, okay? So let's just look at this expression we got here. We have 3x plus 7. It's an expression because there's no equal sign. It's just a bunch of terms. So let's see if we can turn this into words. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can turn this into words. If you read it from left to right, sometimes that's not the easiest way to do it. So the first thing I'll do for this one is we will read it from left to right. So let's look at our first term, which is the 3x. When there's a 3 and an x, that means that those two things, the coefficient and the variable, are being multiplied together. So let's turn that into words. We could say 3 multiplied by x. Okay? So therefore, we know that 3 is being multiplied by x. And then what's the next thing that comes? We have a plus sign and a 7. 3 multiplied by x is added to 7. Boom. That's easy. That's great. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. Okay? So you have 3 multiplied by x is added to 7. It doesn't get any harder than that. In a nutshell, though. The ways it can get harder is there's different ways to say things. So, for instance, we could say the product of 3 and a number, because when we say a number, we're just saying it's a number. We don't know what it is, aka a variable. In this problem, it's x. So the product of 3 and a number is added to 7. That's another way you could say it. Or you could say the sum of 7 and 3 multiplied by a number. Because again, the sum implies that there's addition. So this is saying that there's the sum of a 7 and 3 multiplied by a number, aka 7 plus 3x or 3x plus 7. So there's a bunch of different ways you could convert these. If you give me any of these three, that is perfectly fine with me. As long as I can read your English and regurgitate the algebraic expression we started with. Okay? So let's try another one. Let's try a little trickier. Oops, don't do that. Let's go back to our pen. So let's look at x over 5 minus 7/12. Okay, so let's see how we can break this into a number, into a phrase, into words, into English, into the good stuff. So if we look here, the first term is x over 5. So mathematically, we have to think, what does that mean? So x over 5 is a number divided by 5 minus 7/12. 7/12. Okay. Another way we could say it: the difference of, aka the answer to a subtraction problem, x divided by 5 and 7/12. Another way, we could say x over 5, the quotient. Or here, this is actually easier. 7/12 is subtracted from the quotient of a number and 5. I think the last one's the trickiest because it says that 7/12 is subtracted, so we know that you're taking 7/12 away from something. But a lot of kids always forget that the quotient is the answer to a division problem. So 7/12 is subtracted from the quotient of a number and 5, aka x divided by 5. Okay. So then again, here's 3 different ways that you can turn this expression into some words. Okay. So let's go to another one. This one's a little trickier. Oops. I'll use my pen, not my keyboard. I get my pen to work. Oops. There we go. All right. So we have 3. All right, I will guarantee you that this one is tricky, okay? The reason being is that there's 2 variables. But again, if we don't want to say X and Y in our word or in the phrase, there's a way we can trick ourselves into doing this. So since we're doing subtraction, first let's talk about the 15Y. So we could say a number and 15, aka, or a number multiplied by 15, I'll say. A number multiplied by 15 is subtracted from, okay, so that takes care of the minus 15y, is subtracted from 3 times the quantity of another number added to 6. This one's a mouthful, okay? So originally we have a number, which is our y. Multiplied by 15 is subtracted from. So that's how we get this right side of the expression, or the second term in the expression, I should say. Is subtracted from 3 times the quantity, aka 3 times something inside of parentheses, and the quantity of another number, aka not our original number, so we have to choose a different variable other than y, so I choose x, is added to 6, aka x plus 6. So another number added to 6 gives us the inside the parentheses. 3 times the quantity gives us the 3 outside the parentheses. And a number multiplied by 15 is subtracted from, oops, didn't want to do that, gives us the part where it's minus 15y. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of different ways to say this. There's a whole bunch of different things we could do. Lastly, I'll give you we'll do an easy example of an equation. Okay. An equation has an equal sign. We haven't learned how to solve them, but we can still turn them into phrases, or vice versa, turn phrases into equations. So let's just say we have this. The way we're going to read this, just read it left to right. Okay? We have 3 and a number are multiplied, then added, or no, then 3 and a number are multiplied, and then 15 is subtracted, then 15 gets subtracted, is 10. Okay, so we have 3 and a number are multiplied, hence the 3x, then 15 gets subtracted, hence minus 15, is 10. The big key that we're dealing with an equation here is the word is. Okay, that's a dead giveaway you're dealing with an equation. If you look back, there's not an is in this statement. There's no is's in any of these 3 statements. Oh, well, there is 7/12 is subtracted from the quotient. That's different because it's talking about something being subtracted, so the is goes along with that. And then the is added to, it goes the same with the subtraction. It's talking about a number being added, so we have to use the word is. But then here, subtracted is 10. It's basically telling us that this side of the expression is 10, hence is equals to. So that's the one way that you can turn an expression into an equation. An equation into a phrase. But we'll do more work with that. This video is done for now, so I'm going to upload a video of doing the converse, going from words to math. And sometimes that's a little harder to deal with. So, hey, what's going on, guys? So, if you are still watching the video, you know that the first segment dealt with taking expressions or equations and converting them into English. Okay, I believe that to be the easier of the 2 evils. The harder of the 2 evils, I believe, which isn't hard as long as you take your time and break things apart, is taking an English phrase and turning it into a mathematical expression or equation. So we'll just dig right into this one. And our phrase is 9 less than the total of a number and 2. The main thing you have to do is really think about the order of a sentence is not necessarily the order or way that a mathematical expression is written. Because if we start here, we automatically know that it says 9 less than the total. Okay? 9 less than something actually means that we're subtracting 9 from some quantity. Okay? So even though 9 less becomes, or is first in the sentence, in our expression, it's actually going to be becoming last. Okay? So we have 9 less than the total of a number and 2. So now that we got the first part, you're going to ask yourself, the total of a number and 2. What does that mean? But if you think to real life, you could think of other ways that we use the word total. For instance, if you go to the grocery store and the cash register says your total is blank, 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 they're meaning that they took all of your items, took their costs, and added them up. So in that sense, total means the sum or the addition of a bunch of things. So therefore, the word total means addition. So now we have 9 less than the total of a number and 2. So since it's a number, we're going to use x plus 2. Okay, but we're not done here because it says that it's 9 less than the total of a number and 2. So you have to make sure to put x plus 2, aka a number and 2, inside parentheses because it's 9 less than this whole thing. Okay, so our expression is x plus 2 minus 9. And that is your expression converted, or that's your phrase converted to an expression. The other thing you can do is you can actually just simplify it. So x plus 2 minus 9. The positive 2 and negative 9 gives us x minus 7. And that's the simplified version. Unless I tell you to simplify it, if I just say convert this phrase to an expression, this is totally fine. But I'm just showing you how it relates to our other math problems. Next one. The ratio of 9 more than x to x. Okay. This one's tricky because there's 2 x's here. But in reality, that just means that x is going to show up twice in our expression. So let's ask ourselves, the ratio of 9 more than x to x. Now we got to go back to our pre-algebra days back in 7th and 8th grade, but you guys can do it. So we got to think of the word ratio. What does the word ratio mean? So when I think of the word ratio, I think of a comparison. And I think of one of the ways to write a ratio is in a fraction. Okay? So I'm automatically going to make a fraction bar when you see the word ratio. It tells you that a part of the ratio is 9 more than x. 9 more than x is 9 plus x. And it says the ratio is 9 more than x to x. And I automatically know that it's 9 plus x over x. One of the other ways I know this is that when you're dealing with ratios, one way to write it, so let's say you're talking about feet to inches, would actually be feet over inches. Okay, so really the word 2 is, if you think about it in one sense, our fraction. So if it's 9 more than x, it's 9 plus x over x. So 9 plus x over x is our answer. Going on, twice the difference of a number and 9. Okay, so let's actually read twice the difference. What does that mean? Well, the word twice means you're going to double it. So if I'm 10 years old, you're twice my age, that means you're 20 years old. If you have twice as many apples as me and I have 3 apples, you have 6 apples. So again, the word twice just means you're going to double something. Okay? So you have 2. We know we're going to do multiplication. So now, the second part says the difference of a number and 9. So that means that we have to do the difference of a number x. Again, a difference, like we talked about in the first part of this video, is a subtraction problem. So it's twice the difference of a number and 9. But it's twice the whole thing, so you must put it in parentheses. Okay? Again, if I don't ask you to simplify, this is your answer. If you are asked to simplify, make sure you do. By distributing the 2, you get 2x minus 18. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your answer. 2x minus 18. And that's it. I just did 3 quick problems. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. Very straightforward. But again, being able to read the English and relate it to mathematics is very, very important, especially when we're doing word problems, because I know you guys don't like them, but when you break it down, it's very, very simple. Okay? So hope you found this enjoyable. Make sure to go check out the documents page.